Rule 1112 of the revised Rules of Criminal Procedure in the Philippines pertains the preliminary investigation, a crucial stage in criminal procedure where an investigating officer determines whether there is enough evidence to file a criminal case in court. Here's an overview of the role, its basis, and relevant Supreme Court decision. Rule 1112 Revised Rules of Criminal Procedures. Preliminary investigation is a process where a public prosecutor or other authorized officers determine whether there is a sufficient ground to engender a well-founded belief that a crime has been committed and that the respondent is guilty and should be held for trial. Purpose of preliminary investigation. The primary purpose of a preliminary investigation is to protect individuals from wrongful prosecution by ensuring that only cases with probable cause proceed to the court. Rule 1112 of the revised Rules of Criminal Procedures upholds the procedural right of preliminary investigation to prevent wrongful prosecution. Philippine jurisprudence has consistently recognized this role as a procedure and due process safeguard designed to ensure that only case with a well-founded belief of guilt proceed to trial. Next, Rule 113, which is arrest. An arrest is defined. It is taking person into custody to answer for the commission of an offense. Key provision of Rule 113, Section 2, Arrest without a warrant. This provision states that no person can be arrested without a warrant except as provided in the cases for warrantless arrest. Basis for warrantless arrest. Warrantless arrest under Section 5 of Rule 113 align with Article 3, Section 2 of the Philippine Constitution, which protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures, stating that a valid arrest generally requires a warrant issued by a judge. The importance of Rule 113 and constitutional basis. The right against unlawful arrest is grounded in the constitutional right to due process and the protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. Rule 113 establishes lawful condition for an arrest, safeguarding individuals' rights while allowing law enforcement to act promptly when necessary. Key Supreme Court decision on Rule 113. People versus Burgos. In this landmark case, the Supreme Court held that any arrest, search, or seizure must have a valid warrant except in case explicitly provided by law. In flagrante delicto or hot pursuit, it emphasized that warrantless arrests are exception, not the rule, and any deviation must be justified by clear, specific circumstances. This case reinforced the principle that warrantless arrest must strictly comply with the conditions set out in Rule 113 and emphasizing the protection of individual liberty and due process. Rule 113 provides a legal framework for arrest, balancing law enforcement need to respond to crimes promptly and individuals' constitutional rights against unlawful arrest. This Supreme Court has consistently ruled to uphold the sanctity of individual liberty while recognizing exception for valid warrantless arrest. Through its decision, the court has reinforced strict standards to ensure that these exceptions are not abused, underscoring that probable cause is essential to any valid arrest. Next is Rule 114, which is bail. Bail is a security typically in the form of cash, bond, or property posted by a person in custody to guarantee their appearance in court when required. If the accused fails to appear, the bail is forfeited and the accused may be arrested. Section 1. Right to bail. All persons have the right to bail except those charged with capital offenses or offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua to life imprisonment. When evidence is guilt is strong, when evidence of guilt is strong, bail is granted as a matter of right before conviction in bailable cases, but may be discretionary after conviction. Constitutional basis of bail. The right to bail is grounded in Article 3, Section 13 of the Philippine Constitution, which states, all persons except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua when evidence of guilt is strong shall before conviction be bailable by sufficient sorties or be released on recognizance as may be provided by law. The right to bail is closely tied to the presumption of innocence, ensuring that an accused person need not be incarcerated while awaiting trial unless the law clearly establishes otherwise. Rule 114 and relevant jurisprudence affirm the principle that bail is a fundamental right rooted in the presumption of innocence. The Supreme Court has consistently upheld the right while balancing it with the state's interest in ensuring justice. In non-bailable cases, however, the rule provides that bail can be denied if the evidence of guilt is strong, allowing exception only under specific circumstances such as humanitarian reason or strong procedural safeguard. Rule 115 of Revised Rules of Criminal Procedure in the Philippines enumerates rights of the accused. Section 1 of this rule lists the specific rights are guaranteed to accused in all criminal prosecution. The key Supreme Court decision. The Supreme Court emphasized the importance of the presumption of innocence, underscoring that the prosecution bears the burden of providing guilt beyond reasonable doubt. This principle is central to Rule 115 and cannot be overturned unless there is compelling evidence against the accused. This case reinforced that the presumption of innocence is a fundamental right of Rule 115, placing the onus on the prosecution to establish guilt conclusively. The Supreme Court emphasized the importance of presumption of innocence, underscoring that the prosecution bears the burden of guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Lastly is Rule 116, Arraignment and Plea. Arraignment is a crucial stage where the accused is formally informed of the charges against them and given the opportunity to enter a plea. This procedure is integral to safeguarding the accused's right to due process as it allows them to fully understand the allegation and prepare their defense. Constitutional basis for Rule 116. The provision of Rule 116 are grounded in the right to due process and the right to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. Under the Philippine Constitution, these rights ensure that the accused has a fair opportunity to defend himself and is protected from voluntary or uninformed admission of guilt. This case underscores the court duty to ensure that guilty pleas, especially for serious charges, are informed and voluntary in line. And also, Rule 116 protects an accused person's fundamental rights during arraignment, ensuring they fully understand the charges, consequences of their plea, and have a fair opportunity to defend themselves. The Supreme Court, through its rulings, has reinforced that a plea must always be voluntary and informed, especially in cases involving serious charges. This decision uphold the importance of due process, safeguarding the integrity of the criminal justice system and ensuring fair treatment for the accused.